Hey guys, Brett Weiss here. Welcome to another video. If you follow my channel pretty closely, you've probably seen or heard me talk about the fact that my game room collapsed, or at least one end of my game room collapsed. I came home the other day and the two big metal shelves on the opposite side of the room were leaning over and stuff was sliding off and it just created this huge mess and it damaged the floor and everything. I'm going to show you guys what I have done. I've been working on that end of my game room, rearranging things, getting rid of stuff, finding other places to put certain things. And I'm going to show you guys what it looks like now because it's pretty cool. And I just thought I want you guys to see a part of the game room that you haven't seen before and how I've opened things up a little bit. That wall used to be just for storage, and it was just kind of an unsightly mess for a long time. Well, I've stored some stuff in my garage and under beds, and I've really neatened things up and reorganized, and I've made that neatened, is that a word? I've really streamlined and made that more of a place for display in addition to storing some things there. So I want to show you guys that. So let's take a look. All right, here we go, guys. I want to show you first the damage these shelves did. See these indentions in the floor? That was from putting these metal shelves down with just plastic feet. They had these little plastic feet, and over the course of 12 years, they burrowed down into the floor, and I didn't even notice until I saw these shelves leaning over the other day. Very slow, gradual process. I have since gotten rid of one of the metal shelves and made room for some other stuff and stored some stuff elsewhere, and I put the wheels on the shelving so you get a softer landing spot and more evenly distributed weight, I should say. And so I do still have some storage here down at the bottom of the shelf. My just different extra gaming stuff and comic books. At a show, a friend of mine, Catherine, made this little sign for me. I've got my Flash comic books here. Show you a couple of those real quick. I've got Flash 105 through 50. Check it out. This is basically Flash number 1 because the original series ended with 104, and back in the day they would pick up series from time to time because number 1 issues was like an unproven issue. That wasn't a thing back then, thinking those were expensive, and so they would sometimes just pick up where the old series left off. But yeah, real early Flash comics here, and a bunch of other comics in my collection. Some of my handheld stuff. Remember the old Merlin? And I've got ColecoVision, one of the old dust covers. Pretty cool here. Just an extra ColecoVision. And I've got my NES top loader in there. You can see the dog bone. And I actually got my NES top loader at a garage sale for $4. You can see it in there. And so yeah, I do have some storage here still, but it's not super heavy. There's a old TI-99, some VIC-20 cartridges. Let's get to the stuff that's on display, more interesting. My board game collection, mostly video game related, but I do have the Kiss on tour game. I found that at an antique mall not too long ago for 20 bucks. Excellent deal. And my favorite board game is probably this Donkey Kong, just based on the box art. Not favorite one to play, but I love the box art on this one. Don't really play those games. They're just kind of fun to have around. A couple of Band-Aids, rubber bands if anybody needs them here. Anyway, I got some old puzzles here. That's Donkey Kong puzzle is like the art for the board game. And we actually put together this Cubert puzzle. It's pretty neat. It's elsewhere, hanging on the wall in the game room, but it's pretty neat. This was a thrift store find. Super Simon, designed by Ralph Baer. My wife's old Star Wars lunchbox, and my son's puzzles, and my newer Pac-Man puzzle. Pretty cool stuff, but you know, speaking of Ralph Baer, here's the Odyssey console. The Odyssey 200, not the original Magnavox Odyssey. My boxed Atari 800 XL home computer. Now, I got this for $60 at Founded Electronics years ago when they were tiny, and it would be much more expensive there now. This is kind of interesting. It looks like a puzzle that might be tough to put together because there's a lot of black space, but I might someday. That was a thrift store find, I believe. Telegame's Personal Arcade, which is basically a ColecoVision. So yeah, let's draw back a little bit here and just check it out. Game boxes, I guess I'm a hoarder. I can't throw away game boxes, especially cool ones like the Xbox 360 Star Wars. So cool. Odyssey 2, such a great retro console, very underrated. My boxed Vectrex I bought from Earl Green, pretty awesome. My first GameCube was indeed purple. And so that's the setup. Instead of having just tons of stuff in storage, I move stuff to the garage and under beds. It looks a much nicer display. Now check this out, guys. In a second, I'm going to show you my little setup for my CollectorVision Phoenix on a record stand. I'll show you that in a second, but I want to go to this part of the game room that I didn't show. I didn't show this wall in my longer game room tour. So I just want to show you over here. This isn't where the damage was, but I want to show you guys this part of the game room just because you've never seen it before. Just more boxed consoles. I love that Telstar Ranger. They had made realistic looking guns back then for consoles. Super Famicom, thanks to my brother-in-law and sister for getting me that in Japan for taking care of their dogs. Pretty awesome. The Virtual Boy. Gosh, I paid like $9 for a boxed one with a bunch of cartridges inside at a thrift store a long time ago. Love me some PlayStation. These were old garage sale finds from many years ago, the Commodore 64 and VIC-20. The VIC-20 was in perfect condition, but it came with the receipt, some kind of exchange thing, and it did not work. So apparently this was returned at some point and just never put back out for sale or repaired. But it's in beautiful condition. It just doesn't work. This is my original Star Wars trilogy box set that I got for Christmas back when this, not when it first came out on VHS because it was really expensive, but when they packaged this together as a trilogy, you know, a little box set. I'm not even sure when it was, probably early 80s. Pretty cool. Star Wars was obviously inspired by the old Flash Gordon serials. Old Universal Monsters VHS collection, along with other classic horror films. Check this out. Check out this Bride of Frankenstein factory sealed. Really like that. Just going to keep that in the seal. Will I get it graded at some point now that there's VHS grading? I don't know. I just think it's neat. Love these old movies. Check out these covers. I keep VHS because some of these movies aren't available on DVD or streaming. But a lot of times just for the cover, like Robot Monster, you can watch that elsewhere. But I just love that cover. It is so neat. Great stuff. Big fan of the old films. As you can tell, I have eclectic interest. Not only do I like video games, I like science fiction and horror, classic films. A lot of great stuff. Plan 9 from Outer Space. Sort of like E.T. the Extraterrestrial for the 2600. Plan 9 from Outer Space is alleged to be the worst movie of all time, but it's actually pretty entertaining. It's definitely a bad film, and it's awkward and poorly shot and everything, but it's enjoyable. It's definitely not the worst film of all time, but it is pretty bad. Love these old Elvira VHS. Movie is uninterrupted, so she comments before and after the movie in these, and she's actually very funny. These are great. Crawling Hand, fun films. And let's go over here to the other side of the damage, you know, the part of the game room that was damaged. Now, I haven't done anything up here. I might put a poster or something, but beside that, I did abscond with my daughter's Woodstock poster now that she's moved out, and told my wife I'd give it back to her if she wanted it back, but it was just folded up in her, or rolled up in her room and not doing anybody any good. So I put that over here. So since these shelves tilted over and stuff fell off of them and they ruined the floor, I've redesigned everything, and that scaling back and minimizing has actually opened up this corner. So I'm going to show you guys some stuff over here, including my Tron Laserdisc and a couple of lobby cards for The Last Starfighter. How cool is that? One of my favorite movies. And love me some Iron Maiden. Again, very eclectic tastes. And more VHS, including the Flash came out, before it came out, you know, the full season, full series, you know, it was just one season long on DVD. They came out with the pilot and a couple episodes on DVD. On video VHS. Mark Hamill is so awesome as the trickster. Very cool. And I've got some of these old classic serials on VHS. Awesome. And check these out, guys. If you're a comic book fan, if you like the Marvel Universe, check out these old cartoons on VHS in these big plastic boxes. This is an awesome collection I bought from my friend Rick Kelsey. These are really fun cartoons, and actually made a Flash VHS out of, just some pictures I cut out of magazines and went to Kinko's and that kind of thing. So there you go. And so in this corner over here, where, you know, I've got more space to display things, I actually got my Game Boy stuff and put it in this. I'm not sure what this originally held, but it works perfectly for Game Boy boxes. Remember the old one-player Bomberman on the NES? Adapted for the Game Boy Advance as part of the classic NES series. And then with Bomberman 2, they incorporated two-player action, which was huge. Incredible homebrew of Gorf with voice effects. But check it, Super Mario Land. I've probably played this more than any other Game Boy game. Maybe Tetris more, but Super Mario Land is right up there. Love that. Very cool. How many of you guys knew that there was a Flintstones version of Burger Time? And a pretty good game, too. Not bad at all. Got a Virtual Boy game hiding back here in the box. Got that at a convention one time. Somebody had stacks of them for super cheap. Oh, guys, if you've only played Lock and Chase at the arcade or on the Intellivision, you've got to play the Game Boy version. It is incredible. Lots of extra features. The Game Gear games don't fit as well. You have to kind of turn them on their side. But there you go. Anyway, so I've cleaned up this side of the game room. You know, sometimes it takes a disaster to get me off my butt to get creative and just make a very nicer looking wall of greatness. And before I let you guys go, like I said before, gotta check out this little setup for my CollectorVision Phoenix. So when I got my Phoenix a while back, you know, a few months ago, this is, if you don't know, it plays ColecoVision games, and it's got a cartridge slot for ColecoVision games, and you can use an original ColecoVision controller or a Super Nintendo controller. And it does other things as well, but you can just look it up, CollectorVision Phoenix. I have this, when I first got this, it did not work on my big game room TV, and I was super bummed out. And so I've just been kind of sitting there collecting dust, and I played it some in my living room. But now I have a little station for my Phoenix and for my Flashback 9. And this is like a little mini retro gaming setup here. And I've really been having fun in this little corner playing these retro consoles. And if you guys know, some of you older viewers might recognize this stand I'm using. It's actually for records. So on the top, the turntable, and then the receiver would go under here, and then records would go down here. And we had this back in our old house years ago, and I just kept this stored in the garage because I figured I might need it someday. And boom, I'm glad I did. It pays to be a hoarder sometime because this is just perfect for this little setup. All right, guys. Well, there you go. Game room recovery. There's my DVD wall. I'll do a video on that sometime, probably, with my DVD collection. But here you go. Fading out. Let me know in the comments if you've ever had, water damage or any kind of collapse of shelving or any kind of problems with your collection. I've heard of, Metal Jesus Rock's infamous basement flood, and a number of other gamers I've been friends with, they had stuff damaged in shipping, or they had, water damage to their house, or worse. Let me know if you've ever experienced anything like that. Thankfully, nothing was damaged when my shelves tipped over and everything started falling off of it. And the only thing really that was damaged was the floor. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Thank you for liking and subscribing. We will talk to you guys in another video. And also, let me know what I can put over here. I need to get like one of these tall posters or a couple of posters or something. If you got any good ideas, let me know. All right, we'll talk to you later. All right, guys, what'd you think? Any recommendations or anything you saw that you want to discuss? Please leave it in the comments. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you've got a video of your game room, leave that in the comments below. And I've also got a link in the comments to my earlier game room video where I show you the rest of the game room. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Thank you for liking this video. And remember not to put too much heavy stuff on the same shelves. And if you do, be sure and use the rollers on, on your shelving if it comes with that, not just the metal legs, because they might dig divots in your floor over the course of a dozen years. All right, guys, live and learn, right? Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking. Thank you for subscribing. We'll talk to you in another video. If you're a fan of my work, you might want to consider supporting me on Patreon. For just a low fee each month, you get a lot of extra content. Another way to support the channel and my writing career is to buy books direct from me, including the 100 Greatest Console Video Games, the Classic Home Video Game Series. It's like an encyclopedia set. And this massive bad boy, the NES Omnibus Volume 1 A through L. I will put links in the description of this video where you can buy books direct from me and where you can support me on Patreon. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it.